Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the secrets hidden within corporate filings. And today we're diving into Legend Spices, Incorporated's latest quarterly report. Get ready for some spicy surprises before we get into the nitty gritty if you like getting straight answers from these often. Dry documents, make sure you are subscribed, and hey, we have a fantastic community over on Discord, linked in the description, where we break down these filings even further. Alright, so this is Legend Spices Incorporated's quarterly report, a 10Q. Think of it as a financial snapshot of what has been happening with the company over the last 3 months, ending the 30th of June 2025. Let's jump right into the heart of it, the financial statements. This is where the real story usually unfolds. Right here we have the balance sheets. This shows what the company owns, what it owes, and what is left for the owners at a specific point in time. We're looking at the 30th of June 2025 and comparing it to the 31st of December 2024. Notice that as of the 30th of June 2025, the total assets are listed as a big fat zero. This is a pretty stark figure. Compare that to the 31st of December 2024, when they had somewhere around $3,938 in assets. That is a massive drop to nothing. Now, look at the liabilities. On the 30th of June 2025, the company owes $7,581. This has gone down significantly from $71,985 at the end of 2024. So they've managed to reduce their debts, but with zero assets to cover them. That is a point to keep in mind. And here's the kicker, the stockholders' deficit. On the 30th of June 2025, it is a negative $7,581. This means the company owes more than it owns, and it is a huge improvement from the deficit of $68,047 at the end of 2024. But a deficit is still a deficit. Moving on to the statement of operations, this tells us about the company's performance over a period, essentially their revenue and expenses. For the 3 months ending the 30th of June 2025, sales are zero. In the same period last year, 2024, they had $1,217 in sales. For the 6-month period, sales in 2025 were $644, down from $2,986 in 2024. That is a significant drop. Because of these low sales and associated costs, the gross profit for the 6 months ended the 30th of June 2025 shows a number of $285. This is a big decrease from the prior year. And here it is, the net loss for the 3 months ending the 30th of June 2025. The operating loss was $5,300. For the 6-month period, it was $5,562. In the same 6-month period of 2024, the loss was much higher at $17,860. So, while they are losing less money now, they are still losing money. And on a per share basis, the net loss is zero for both periods, which they explain means the loss is less than a cent per share. It is important to note the weighted average number of shares remains constant at 685,000. This statement shows the changes in the stockholders' equity or deficit over time. Here again, we see the total stockholders' deficit for the 30th of June 2025 at a negative $7,581. This is a significant improvement from the 31st of December 2024, when it was a negative $68,047. A big part of this improvement came from a debt forgiveness of $69,717 by a related party, which was recorded as an increase in additional paid-in capital. Now, let's look at the cash flow statement. This shows how cash moved in and out of the company. For the 6-month period ended the 30th of June 2025, the company used $399 in cash for its operations. This is a massive improvement from the $18,553 used in the same period of 2024. Interestingly, there was no cash provided by financing activities in 2025. In the prior year, they had $20,548 provided by financing activities. And the big number here, cash ending. As of the 30th of June 2025, the company has $0 in cash. This is down from $789 at the end of 2024. This section highlights a key event. During the quarter ended the 30th of June 2025, a related party forgave debt totaling $69,717. This was a significant non-cash transaction that boosted their equity but didn't bring in actual cash. Now for the footnotes, which provide crucial context. Legend Spices Incorporated was incorporated in Nevada. Prior to a change of ownership on the 29th of March 2025, their business was making and selling spices in Armenia. After that change, they discontinued operations in Armenia and are currently realigning their business focus without a defined new business. They explicitly state the company can currently be understood as a shell company. This is a critical note. The company acknowledges that with an accumulated deficit of over $118,000 and a working capital deficit, there is substantial doubt about their ability to continue as a going concern. They intend to raise capital through an offering to address this. Essentially, they are warning that they might not be able to stay in business without new funding. Here they detail that as of the 31st of March 2025, Kachita M. Kacharchin, a former major shareholder, waived $69,717 of the company's debt. This is the same debt forgiveness we saw earlier that boosted their equity as of the 30th of June 2025. They owe Chui Wang $5,300 for audit fees. They report no federal income tax provision because of their losses. They have significant net operating loss carryovers, but a valuation allowance means they are not recognizing any deferred tax assets. This is common for companies with substantial losses. This section is management's own explanation of the financial results. They reiterate the change in control on the 8th of April 2025, with Chi Hui Wang and a group of investors acquiring the company from the previous majority shareholder. They confirm they have discontinued operations in Armenia and are currently a shell company. They explain the significant drop in revenue and sales, attributing it to the discontinuation of operations. They admit there are minimal revenues and offer no assurance of future revenue generation. Expenses have also decreased significantly for the 6-month period ended the 30th of June 2025. Total expenses were $9,146, down from $18,788 in the prior year's comparable period. This reduction is largely due to discontinuing operations. Management explains the drastic drop in assets. Inventory was written down to zero due to being no longer sold, and accounts receivable were deemed uncollectible and written off as bad debt expense. This further clarifies why assets are zero. Here they highlight the negative working capital, which has improved but remains negative at $7,581. They acknowledge incurring operating losses since inception and expect this to continue, reinforcing the need for new capital. They report a much lower cash outflow from operations, which is a positive sign in terms of efficiency, even if the overall business is dormant. They have no current financing commitments and state that if they cannot raise capital, they may be forced to curtail or cease operations. This is a very direct warning about their precarious financial situation. Again, they emphasize the substantial doubt about their ability to continue as a going concern, driven by accumulated deficits and negative working capital. They use estimates and assumptions, which is standard, but the key takeaway here is that actual results could differ materially. Management admits that their internal control over financial reporting was not effective as of the 30th of June 2025. The main reason cited is inadequate staffing and supervision in bookkeeping and accounting, preventing proper segregation of duties. This indicates a weakness in their financial oversight. Finally, we have the signatures: Chi Hui Wang as Chairman, President, Chief Executive Officer, Principal Executive Officer, Principal Financial Officer, and Principal Accounting Officer, signs off on this report attesting to its accuracy. So, what is the story with Legend Spices Incorporated? It is a company in a massive transition. They've effectively ceased their old operations in Armenia and are now a shell company looking for a new direction. Their financials clearly reflect this, with zero assets and a negative working capital, though they have managed to reduce their debts and losses. The most critical point is their explicit acknowledgement of substantial doubt about their ability to continue as a going concern, heavily reliant on raising new capital. The lack of effective internal controls and the very low level of financial activity paint a picture of a company at a crossroads. They have liabilities but no assets to speak of, and their future hinges entirely on their ability to secure new funding and define a new business model. It is a risky proposition, and investors would need to be very aware of the significant uncertainties. Alright, that is our breakdown of Legend Spices Incorporated's latest filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of corporate finance. Don't forget to check out the Discord community in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.